Hey everyone, this is Tamara. Welcome to Book Chat Live. Thanks for watching. Today I'm chatting with Kristina Knight, author of romance head title Protecting the Quarterback. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because almost every Sunday through the end of this summer, I'll be featuring live interviews with authors that are signed up for Rust City Book Con. And if you don't know what that is, be sure to check out the links below as you can go right to that website and read all about it. Without further ado, hey, Kristina, welcome and thanks for chatting with me today.
Hey, Tamara. Hi, everyone.
How are you on this lovely day?
It is gorgeous here. I have no idea what happened to the weather, but yesterday it was like 95. Today it's 70. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, winning, right? Because yesterday it was torture.
It was hot yesterday. So hot.
I know I almost didn't know how to act this morning when I went outside and the wind was kind of going. It was breezy. I'm like, wait, what happened? It feels great out here.
It's a nice change for sure, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just jump right on in, shall we?
Okay.
Oh, I always love to start with finding out what you're reading right now. So go ahead and share with us what you're up to.
I am reading a series of books set in Copper Ridge, Oregon by a romance author named Maisie Yates. Macy Yates, I should say. I always pronounce her first name incorrectly, but they're really great books about cowboys and what's not to love about a cowboy.
That's cool. Cowboys. Yes. Okay. So, let's see. So talking about cowboys, you write about cowboys a little bit. So tell me a little bit about what authors and or books may have influenced your writing a little bit.
There are so many that I know I'm going to miss a lot, but I really love Nora Roberts' books. I know she doesn't necessarily write cowboys, but I just think she is amazing in the way she treats her characters and the way her characters really come to life on the page. So that's a huge influence. I am a fan of Diana Palmer's. I love Maren Thomas's cowboy books. There are just so many, so many to list.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I love Nora Roberts too. Although I don't read a ton by her, she had this one, I think it was a trilogy that actually had paranormal aspects. I cannot remember the name of it now. It's about like a ghost house or something like that. Do you remember that?
I do. I cannot remember the name of that one to save my life. She does paranormals every now and then she has romantic suspense and the whole 9 yards. I mean, she does everything. I don't know how she does it. I really don't.
She's talented. I've also read her writing as J.D. Robb too.
Yeah. I have not read the J.D. Robb books yet. I hear they're amazing. So I'm sure one day I will. I just haven't had the time.
Mm-hmm. So many books on all of our TBR list, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I swear my Kindle groans at me every time I open it up. It's like, no.
Oh, I know. Not to mention my TBR shelf. All these books that I've stacked up. I don't know how I'll ever get to them. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, mine is like they're laying on their sides. They're shoved in. So many books. My husband just rolls his eyes every time we enter a bookstore. But, I could have worse addictions.
True. You could be way worse. That's true. And I should tell my husband that every time a book arrives in the mail and he's like, you have another book. What are you going to do with this?
Way worse things, honey. Way worse things.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start writing.
I have always written a little bit. My mom would read us stories all the time. Her favorites were the fairy tales. She read us some Grimm's versions of the fairy tales at one point. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. And, the Grimm versions, not necessarily happy endings. So I would think in my head, how would it be better? So I would rewrite the bad endings that I didn't like. So I've kind of always written. I didn't realize for the longest time that writers don't necessarily have to live in Paris or London or New York. They live in Ohio, for example.
Right, right.
I went into journalism and I worked as a reporter for about 10 years, a reporter and anchor for broadcast NBC affiliates. So that was a lot of fun. And then I was like, I really want to do this book thing. So I started writing more seriously for publication. And here I am.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here because you've got a lot of books under your belt, rather.
I do. My first book came out in 2012, and it has been a whirlwind ever since then. So
Wow. Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about one of your most recent releases, which is Protecting the Quarterback.
Okay.
This is a romance story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely for adults, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely the over 18.
Okay. So
Over
let's talk a
18.
little bit about the plot and the characters. So you want to give us a little quick synopsis?
Yeah, sure. The characters are Jonas and Brooks. Brooks is a sports reporter. She is a football girl, born and bred. Her dad was a football coach. She played sports all through high school and college. She went into sports reporting, and football is very close to her heart. But she's trying to make her own name in football and not just be her father's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets assigned to the Kentuckians, which is a football team, fictional football team, obviously, set in Louisville. And there she runs into Jonas, who's the quarterback, and he's got this big injury that he hasn't really let anyone know about. People immediately in his circle obviously know about it. His team knows about it, but the big details haven't really gotten out to the press yet. So they're sort of going back and forth, and she's struggling with, do I out his secret? Do I not out his secret? And so, and they fall in love, of course.
Oh, of course. Well, Brooke sounds kind of like a very strong character. I always love a strong female, lead. So
yeah, she is definitely the strongest female I've ever written. She knows exactly what she wants, and she goes after it. And then finding herself set up against Jonas, who she really feels empathy for. I mean, football is his life. It's become his family to some extent. So she really struggles with, how can I take away his life, take away his family, just because this is my job and it's going to put me ahead. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So that's really kind of her struggle. And it's very much her book, even, because she's such a strong lead. But it was really fun to write her. It was really fun.
So most of her conflict is, dealing with her own issues, or is it more like also Jonas as well? Is he kind of presenting some conflict for her outside of his issue?
Yeah, she's never really gone in for the sports type as far as relationships are concerned, because she knows what sports guys are like. And, they're very alpha male. They're very, this is what I'm going to do. And that's not what she wants. She wants something a little more calm, a little more personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So falling for him is like totally not what she wants to be doing. She wants to see him as a story, but the more stuff that comes out of him, the less she's able to see him just as a story, and she sees the whole man, and she likes the whole man.
Well, I like an alpha male. I mean, I really do, as long as he's not trying to tell me when to go to sleep, what to eat, as long as it's not that kind of alpha male, I'm about it.
I can totally get behind that. Most of my guys, actually, they're alpha males, but they're a little bit over themselves, if that makes any sense at all. I can't write those really alpha holy kind of guys. You know what I'm talking about? I can't get my head wrapped around that particular kind of guy. So my guys are very much alpha in my books, but they're a little over themselves. They're a little like, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, that's cool, because that means he's kind of ready for the next chapter, and he's like still not playing the field. She doesn't have to talk him down from, drinking himself into a stupor, all those things that, alpha popular males are into.
For sure.
Awesome. So tell me, like, what is the most, what do you like most about the characters you've developed for this book?
I really like their internal struggles. I like that Brooks's strength kind of turns into her weakness. I like that Jonas's weakness turns into his strength. He really comes to terms with who he is outside the game of football, and that really frees him up to play football the way he's always wanted to play. So those two aspects of both of the characters really, really hit home to me, because I think as human beings, I mean, we all have weaknesses. We all have strengths, and it's coming to terms with those weaknesses that can turn them into our strengths.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So, this is a romance essentially. So, I always like to find out the heat level of this romance. So what are we talking here on a scale of 1 to 10? How hot is this going to get?
I would give it a strong 7.5. The sex scenes are very much open door, but there's not a whole lot of crazy stuff happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do know what you mean. And I understand. Okay.
No whips and chains, none of that stuff. So
Okay, so it's pretty clean. So no biggie. Okay. So obviously, along with the romance, they fall in love. But in the beginning, is it more insta lust, or do they fall in love? What's up with that?
It's very much insta lust. It's very insta lust. Brooks is very drawn to Jonas's physical appearance, as any woman would be. I mean, he's a football player, and very much drawn to her looks as well. So it's very much insta lust at the beginning, and then it starts changing probably about a third of the way through the book. They start actually falling in love with the people that they're seeing, not just the person that they think they are.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that because, like I was telling you the other day, it's easier for me to believe insta lust because, most of us walk around like, those of us that aren't married anyway, you're like, oh, that guy's hot. Okay, let me see what he's about, and vice versa, Yeah,
insta lust. A lot of my characters have insta lust. I haven't had any that are falling in insta love at all. I'm not opposed to writing that, but that hasn't presented itself yet. So
yeah. Yeah, honestly, personally, I kind of find that when you have the insta love situation, it's usually driven by like some type of paranormal reason, like like vampires or werewolves. Like it's in their being to be that way. Not too much contemporary stuff with insta love, though.
I would agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about any challenges you might have come across while doing your research for this. I mean, obviously it's football and it's a football medicine and all kinds of things. So tell us a little bit.
Well, I love football, first of all. So the actual football research wasn't all that hard because I've attended games. We've attended some training camp type stuff. The hardest part to wrap my head around was the injury that Jonas has. It's an injury to his shoulder and to the rotator cuff area. And most of the time, especially him being a quarterback, an injury like that would be a career ender. So it was taking the reality of that kind of injury, I can't speak all of a sudden, and fictionalizing it so that it's not an ender to his career, but it is very, very serious. So all the credit in the world goes to Dr. Matt, who is a local doctor here in my town. He is an excellent sports medicine physio guy. He answered so many questions for me. And at the end, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get this right, but I have to tell you, it's a romance. So, he can't lose everything. So at some point, he's like, it's okay. I get
it. So he'll know, like, if you see something crazy, it's not because you weren't listening, but because it's a romance. That's awesome. That's really good to have someone that can really help you out with the details of all the medical stuff. But for me, I would have had a hard time with the football stuff too. I'm not a football person. Like, it's funny, I'll watch Super Bowl and I'll watch it when it's on, but I just don't gravitate to football. So I would have needed a lot of research on that. You could have told me anything about football and I would believe you in that book.
I love football. It's one of my favorite sports. I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to write about it. Is this your first book about football?
It is. It was my first book to really delve into sports culture. I have a new series that's going to be coming out starting later this year, and 4 of the guys are former football players. They're not playing currently, so I get to play with football analogies and metaphors a little bit more. So that's been really fun.
Oh, that's exciting. So is there anything else you'd like the readers to know about Protecting the Quarterback before we talk about your other trilogy?
It's just a really fun book. And I think if you like characters that have a lot of heart and they're both very strong people, if you like that kind of dynamic, I think you'll really like it. So give it a shot.
Okay, sold. Okay, so let's talk about this trilogy you have going on. It's in progress right now, and it's called the Billionaire Cowboys.
Yes.
So tell me, how many books are out? What's on the horizon? Give us a little synopsis as well.
There are 3 books in total. 2 books are out now. The 3rd book I'm wrapping up, so it will be out toward the end of September. And it's set in Las Vegas. And it's 3 brothers who are raised on a ranch right outside of Las Vegas, and the ranch is still very much part of their day-to-day lives, but they've gone on to do other things. One of the brothers is a publishing guru. Another guy does property development. As you can imagine, that's a huge thing in Las Vegas. And the other is a gambler. So it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so I'm guessing each guy gets their own book.
Yes. The first book was my property developer. His name was Gage. And he fell in love with a woman who became one of his tenants. So there's a little bit of kind of boss secretary, not that she was a secretary, but, you know, workplace dynamic there. The second book, the one that just came out, was Connor and Miranda, and that was set in the newspaper office. And it was really fun because in that book, I got to kind of delve into what the outside of Las Vegas is. We talked a little bit more about the ranch. On the ranch, there are some petroglyphs and some things like that. So I got to kind of go into what actually you would find off the strip in Las Vegas. And that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. So obviously you went to Las Vegas to do a little bit of recon, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. My husband and I, we've been to Vegas 3 times now. We're getting ready to go back. And we absolutely love it. And we like the outside of Vegas as much as we like the strip. So it's a lot of fun. Vegas plays a very big part in the series.
That's cool. So the whole ranching thing, do you know about ranching as well, or did you?
I did a little research. I know a little bit. I was raised on a small farm / ranch in Missouri. So I know a little bit of it. Obviously, they're billionaire cowboys, so they are, you know, quite a bit higher than I ever was. But yeah, I knew a little bit of it.
That's cool. So tell me, do you get to see the characters from the first book kind of as sub characters in the second book and them in the third?
Definitely. The brothers all appear and they have their own kind of language. They kind of raised each other. Their mother was a gambling addict. So that plays a little bit of a role throughout the book. And their father was always chasing her, trying to get her to come back, trying to get her unaddicted, basically. So they kind of raised each other. So that dynamic is always there. They communicate so often throughout the book with their different enterprises and things like that. And there's a little bit of distance between them, but when it comes to business, they are very much able to put aside their personal differences and really focus on the good of the family. So
that's cool. So all of these are told from the brothers' point of view then?
Yeah. The women, obviously, the romantic interest, they have their own point of view. But the guys definitely are the kind of the emphasis of the book.
Okay, cool. I like it. It sounds really interesting. I like Vegas. I like hot guys. So romance, yes.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas, hot guys, what is there not to love?
Exactly. Absolutely. Okay, so other than that, do you have any other projects that you're working on that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I just turned in the first book in a brand new series. I mentioned it earlier. There are 4 guys. They were the stars of their high school football team. They went to the state playoffs. They've gone on to college. They've started their lives. Now they're all coming back to their small town for different reasons, and they're going to fall in love. There's some secrets in the town that are going to come out. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So is that going to be more of like a suspense romance type thing, or?
I make it sound suspensey, but it's very much contemporary romance. The secrets are more emotional, more background. There's not like death and destruction or anything like that. So yeah.
No murders.
No murders. No murders.
Okay. Well, we are at the time where I'd love to have an opportunity to have you present some advice for aspiring writers. You know, they're always out there. And you being one that has published many books, I'm sure you have some, sage advice for them.
Well, I'm not sure how sage it is, but I'll try.
Okay.
So my biggest bit of advice is just not to give up. I mentioned earlier that I'd always wanted to be a writer, but I didn't realize that anyone can be a writer. You don't have to live in New York. You don't have to live in Paris. The key is to keep pushing, because we all get rejections. I don't care if you want to self-publish, traditionally publish, hybrid publish, however you want to publish, just don't give up on your stories. Don't give up on what you have to share. Because we all have something different that we bring to the table. I mean, romance as a genre is so incredibly broad, and the stories can cover so many different aspects of life that we all have a point of view to bring into it. So whatever you're into as far as romance goes, just keep plugging away, keep working at your craft, and keep going.
Wow, that is great advice. I hope they listen to you. That's great.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about Rust City. It is right around the corner, a couple months away. You're local to Rust City, right?
Fairly local. I live in Ohio. I'm about an hour and a half-ish away from the conference, so I'm fairly local.
Okay, so have you been to that area at all?
I have, mostly for the casinos, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Las Vegas girl. I will take Detroit casinos too. It's a really pretty area. Lake Erie is up there. You have all kinds of different things to see. The Upper Peninsula is a little bit of a drive, but it's right there. Mackinac Island, all that good stuff. So there's a lot to do and see, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's really centrally located in the southeast area of Michigan, so you can get a lot of places with 30 minutes travel time.
Oh, yeah.
You can, go north a little bit. You can go downtown Detroit. There's a lot going on within 30 minutes, almost every direction. Plus tons of good food, tons of places to shop. So if you're not familiar, I can introduce you to a couple of good restaurants while you're here.
Sounds great.
Yes. So let's see. We know you'll have Protecting the Quarterback. Do you have that book to show us?
I do. It's right behind me. Hang on just a second.
Okay, fabulous.
Let me wheel myself around. Here we go. So I'll have this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have, if it has come out, I may have print copies of What the Bachelor Gets, which is the first book in the Billionaire Cowboys trilogy as well. So I'm not positive about that yet. I'm not sure when print copies are going to be available, but I'll definitely have Protecting the Quarterback and hopefully one other one. So
awesome. I hope you have both, because I want both.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about what you're most looking forward to during Rust City.
I'm looking forward to just meeting readers. I love to meet readers, and I haven't been able to do a whole lot of signings and different things like that. So I'm just looking forward to the silly sessions. I'm going to do the Mad Libs session because I love Mad Libs. My 7-year-old and I do them constantly, and we crack each other up. I'm not sure that we would crack anyone else up, but hey.
As long as you're having fun, that's what counts.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to those silly meet and greet type sessions where we can just meet and talk books and be silly and kind of forget about, the day-to-day 9-to-5 job stuff for a while.
That's cool, because I think there are going to be several meet and greets in maybe a cocktail environment and so it should be fun.
It should be really fun. I know Jackie's getting the final rundown of what's going to happen each day together. So I'm really excited to see when everything's going to happen, and it should be a lot of fun.
Which other topics did you sign up for besides Mad Libs?
I signed up for, let me find my notes, the genre soul, which is, what elements are crucial to contemporaries. I signed up for Mad Libs, the trendy tropes, which I think would be really funny because I'm very much a trope girl. I, throw 3 tropes and a bag of chips into a book, and I am a happy little camper.
Nice. Nice.
And I think there's a socially mad tea party. I threw my hat in the ring for that one too. So
cool. That's awesome that you get to choose which ones you want to do, because I have no idea which ones I'll be doing. I think I'll find out at the end, hey, these are you.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Those are the ones I signed up for. I'll probably be at a whole bunch more because they all sounded interesting, but I can't be everywhere at once.
Exactly. Well, I definitely look forward to seeing you there.
Me too.
Outside of Rush City, are you doing anything else this summer that you want to share?
I'm not doing any other conferences this summer. I was planning on going to RWA, but it is falling. My daughter's a swimmer, and it's falling this year in the middle of her big meet season. So it didn't work out for me to go this year. Bummer. But so Rust City is my only summer conference, and I'm still looking at a couple of fall conferences. So you can always check my website to see where I'm going to be.
Okay, very cool. You guys, I have all of Kristina's links below, her website, follow her on social media, all that good stuff. I also have her books linked below, so you can find them on Amazon. So we're going to jump into the lightning round.
Right, I'm ready.
Yeah, so for you guys that don't know, this is a 60-second lightning round full of fun book-related, some not book-related questions. Kristina, for you, you have to answer, if it's a question that's A or B, you have to answer A or B, not both or neither. And if it's an open-ended question, answer it however you see fit. It's all in good fun, so don't even worry about it.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. All right, let's go. Beer or wine?
Wine.
Name a book that you faked read.
War and Peace.
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate all the way. And if there's a little sea salt, even better.
Yes, you can join me. I'll have some with me, I'm sure.
Yes.
Vampires or werewolves?
Ooh, I'm going to go werewolves.
Okay, where's your favorite place to read?
My favorite place to read is my back deck. We have a new swing, and it's just amazing.
Oh, cool. Cats or dogs?
Dogs, very much dogs.
Cake or pie?
Ooh, I'm going to go cake. No, yeah, I'm sticking with cake.
You're sticking with
Red
cake?
velvet.
Okay. Audiobook or bookish podcast?
Audiobook.
Vodka or rum?
Ooh, rum. Can I have Coke in it?
Yeah, you can have Coke in it. If you can pick one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, one superpower. I'm going to say X-ray vision.
Ooh, okay. Bookstore or library?
Library.
We have time for maybe one more. Let's make it a good one. Hero or villain?
Hero.
All right.
I'm a romance girl. What can I say?
I know. I like heroes too, but a good villain always makes the story extra.
Sure.
Well, yes. All righty. So that's it. Do you have anything else to share with the audience before we sign off?
I'm just really happy to be here today. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. And Tamara, great interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow and hit that subscribe button and share this with your bookish friends, because I will be back here again, not next Sunday, because that's Father's Day, but be sure to check back the Sunday after that and all throughout the summer, because you don't want to miss any of these awesome interviews. So that's it, and thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy reading. Bye, guys.
Thank you.